in the beat of the drum. 'Cause honey, this is a battle that you haven't won. Torn up, busted, taken apart. I've been broken down, left with a broken heart. But I'm stronger, strong enough to rise above. This is a woman's world. This is a woman's world. Have a truth. This is a woman's world. Have a truth. This is a woman's world. That I'm stronger, strong enough to rise above. This is a woman's world. This is a woman's world. Have a truth. This is a woman's world. Have a truth. This is a woman's world. That I'm stronger, strong enough to rise above. This is a woman's world. This is a woman's world. All the women in the world stand up, come together now. This is a woman's world. Everybody in the club stand up, come together now. This is a woman's world. All the women in the world stand up, come together now. This is a woman's world. Everybody in the club stand up, come together now. This is a woman's world. Tell the truth. This is a woman's world. Have a truth. This is a woman's world. That I'm stronger, strong enough to rise above. This is a woman's world. This is a woman's world. Have a truth. This is a woman's world. Have a truth. This is a woman's world. That I'm stronger, strong enough to rise above. This is a woman's world. This is a woman's world. Have a truth. This is a woman's world. Have a truth. This is a woman's world. That I'm stronger, strong enough to rise above. This is a woman's world. This is a woman's world. Time to go, gang. Okay. Should we start a thing? What's that called?
Oh man,
What's that one about?
not
The
interpreting
democracy
that.
website. Is it 2 o'clock? 1:54. We have 5 minutes. I'm not going to do it. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. Go ahead and stand where you want to. Go ahead and stand where you want to.
Okay.
Wherever that might be. I'm not.
No, you can't do that to me.
Yeah.
Do it. Start with that.
Hey, everybody. Welcome. Woo! Show me what democracy looks like. Right on. Right now, I am so proud to be from Spokane, Washington. This is impressive. Thank you all. Yes. And Idaho. Woo! All right, yes. Okay. People are still filing in. We could only get 5,000 through the doors per hour, which, trust me, is a beautiful problem to have. So, yes, it's all good. It's all good. So come on in. I want you to know that if you are handicapped or maybe not technically or legally handicapped and yet you need to sit down, there are reserved seats up front, and that is exactly what that is for. So please, if you need to sit down, please feel comfortable sitting down. We also have some bleachers back there. And I also know that we have beautiful people in the audience that would gladly give up a seat for someone that needed to sit. Okay, so I'm just going to trust you all to take care of that. So thank you. Okay, well, I am Murphy, and I am one of the least political people that I know. And November 8th, a year ago, last November 8th, I woke up. So I'm that example of those people that have just been kind of, I'm incredibly spiritual, and so that was always my path that I took. And then that happened. And so here I am today,
an example for all of you that if do something about it. That's what I'm saying. Get up and do something about it. And that's what this march is about, and that's what this rally is about. So yes. So first I have just a tiny bit of housekeeping. After I introduce, I also am the MC, and I called in a very, very, very dear friend of mine to assist me, just in case of, reasons. So this is Tamara Diggets. She will be, thank you, yeah. She'll be emceeing along with me. Formerly she was a director of a local Planned Parenthood. She attended the March for Women's Live in Washington, D.C. in 2005, where there were over 1 million strong. So she wants to say thanks for everybody being here, and that's who my friend is, who I called her about 2 or 3 days ago, and I said I need help. So she's another one of those women that said, yes, what can I do? How can I be of service to our community? So one more thing that I need to talk about right off the bat is this is Heidi Robertson. She is our ASL interpreter today. But what I need to say is that an interpreter can't interpret for 2 hours, and her partner could not make it with her today last minute. So, is there another ASL interpreter in the house that would be willing to come up and share the stage with Heidi? And are there any people, deaf people out here in the audience that need an ASL interpreter? Okay, this is a logistics problem that I haven't solved yet, because she can't stand this entire time. They work for a half hour and then they rest, and they work and they rest. So I'm not quite sure how to do this. So if anyone has brought someone with them that is deaf, or if someone is in here that needs her services, please, please, please come up and tell us, and Heidi will work right away. But she can't do this the entire time. So she will be available upon request, okay? Is everybody good with that? Can we just say yes, we're good with that? Okay. All right, thank you for that. Every one of you, thank you for that. That's very kind of you, okay? So we have the banner that went on the rally with us, so that is a beautiful, beautiful thing. We have that hung up now. So they're estimating, my last estimate guess was like 6,500, so that's fabulous, absolutely beautiful. Because what many of you may not know is that a very small group of women and men got together 21 days ago and put this entire thing together. Yeah, it's huge. It is huge. I remember sitting in that meeting. It was a small meeting, and when we raised our hands to, are we going to have a rally as well? And we said yes. We had to raise tons of money, which we don't have it all raised just yet. So I visualized 10,000 people in this room, and I have this incredible dream that each person's going to dig into their pockets and $3 a piece, and this thing would be paid for. There's a donation table right there, right at that pillar. Donate here. They will help you in any way that you can donate, okay? One other thing that I would like to tell you is that we have to pay for absolutely everything that we do, which includes our chairs. So if we have a need for more chairs, maybe there could be a donation for chairs, like $2 for a chair, and then we can just have them coming in, okay? So that's an option that we will figure out for people, because I want everybody to be comfortable here. I want everybody to enjoy themselves, and I am so honored that you are all here. This is absolutely incredible. So let's see, let's talk about the bathroom, shall we? There's a lot of us here. So right behind that bleacher section, there's some bathrooms over there. There's bathrooms over there, and there's bathrooms downstairs. They're all over the place, so do that if you need to. The emergency exits, the evacuation routes, really, really important. Just getting the logistics out of the way, and then we'll get on with this incredible rally, okay? So evacuate, I'm like a airline stewardess. Evacuation routes, right back here. You can go out these doors. There's doors, you can go out right around here, back there, out there. There's a lot of ways to get out of here if you need to, okay? So feel comfortable about that. There's also water and food. There's a drinking fountain right back there, once again behind those bleachers. I think there's somebody here selling food and water and stuff back there, so keep yourselves hydrated. Tamra, Michael, and I are going to be on stage the entire time. And I'll tell you why. It's a little bit unfortunate, but it's also very necessary, okay? We are going to be sitting up here perusing the audience, just making sure that everybody is safe, okay? So if you don't feel safe, if something's happening, if someone is being aggressive to you, what we are going to do as the peaceful protesters, we are going to sit down, and I will be more than happy to call that person out, okay? They want attention apparently, and we will give it to them undivided. So if somebody is aggressive, anything you feel fear, sit down. If you feel fear, there's security throughout. Ton of us have these pink armbands on. We're all volunteers here. So please, please, I want everyone to feel safe. I want everyone to feel welcome, okay? 911, if somebody has a heart attack or you need to call 911. Inside the convention center, if we use our cell phone to call 911, they won't come. We have to get a hold of security within the convention center, and they will be on it immediately. So I just want you to know that if something happens to someone near you, please get a hold of security, tell me whatever you need to do immediately, and that will be taken care of. Okay, we've already talked about the seating for everyone, so that's good. Oh, hey, this is a good one. There are ATMs available on the first floor. So we do have other ways of taking your plastic money, but there are ATMs down below if you need those, so know that. And let's see. Charities and supplies. Okay, oh, there's a lost and found. We've already had something lost and something found, so that's a beautiful thing. It is right over there by that door, this first blue door right there. The gentleman in the blue shirt, he's bending over right now and he has on his pussy hat. He's going in that door. That's the lost and found, okay? So if you lose something, go over there and they will take care of it. So that is it for my housekeeping. Oh, we have just been notified that most of the people are in the building. The beautiful people have arrived. Yes, yes. Full force. This is absolutely stunning. I wish each and every one of you could come up here and just have a look. So this is impressive, Spokane. I am so happy to be here. So you want to just sit down? Nobody came up. Did you see anybody? Oh, I am going to ask one more time. Does anyone require Heidi to be our ASL interpreter? Just raise your hand, just let us know. She will do her absolute best. From this point on, Heidi is going to sit down, but she has promised to be available. If anyone needs her, please let us know, and she will be more than happy to get up and volunteer again. So, okay, that's good. All right. We have the most incredible way to start this rally. It is sacred, it is pure, it is beautiful. The Rose Creek singers from the Coeur d'Alene tribe are going to bless us with two songs. One will be the Strong Woman song, and I don't know what the other song will be yet. So, in honor of Indigenous people everywhere, they're up here to bless us with their presence. So give them a great big hand. Rose Creek singers from the Coeur d'Alene tribe.
Thank you.
Whew. That's some powerful stuff right there, isn't it? Beautiful, my gosh. We are so blessed that they came here and honored us with their music, so thank you once again. Next up, we have with us Elder Yvonne Swan. She's a native elder from the Colville Confederate tribe and a longtime advocate for the indigenous human rights. In the 1970s, she was known as Yvonne Wanro, who was a defendant in a well-known criminal case in Washington state in which she was charged with murder for killing a child molester and assault for wounding his companion. 5 years later, the case was highlighted in January 1977 when she won an appeal at the state Supreme Court level. The favorable decision set a precedent that moved this country forward regarding women and the law of self-defense. Absolutely. Law students and others in the field today refer to the case as the Wanro decision. So I'm going to ask Elder Yvonne Swan to come up. And I would also like to mention that her niece is royalty. Her name is Kess. Would you mind standing up, Kess? She is the Arrow Lakes princess.
Why is Naxil? Hello, my relatives. Isquis Chipatu. My name is Chipatu, my name that my grandfather gave me. And my American name is Yvonne. In Chakan Sinaichkst, I am of the Arrow Lakes nation whose territory is in Washington State and into British Columbia originally. My father was Ojibwa, Chippewa, Cree, Assiniboine Sioux, and has Coeur d'Alene relatives. The United States declared him as a landless Indian, along with the rest of his nation. So he and his family and other people had to move to the Coeur d'Alene Reservation for survival. My mother, who is St. Ives Arrow Lakes, her ancestors were murdered. 3 times they were murdered because the military spread smallpox disease and dwindled our population. And then the survivors scattered and took shelter in other territories, in Washington, in Canada. And then the government declared the St. Ives Arrow Lakes Nation extinct in order to close up ownership of our land in Canada. So all my life I have been, I guess you'd say, an advocate for justice for all people, because I understand the pain that people have to go through as an Indigenous woman of this hemisphere. This land you're at right now is very sacred. Our ancestors are probably here and very happy that you people have honored my people today to allow my sisters my sisters from the Coeur d'Alene Nation and to allow me to be here to speak today, and my relatives here in the Spokane Nation, in the Colville Nation. Many, many years ago, and not that long in God's terms, according to God, the Creator. A little while ago in that time, the United States was all Indian. North America, South America, from Tok, Alaska, to the southernmost tip of Argentina, the Philippine Islands, not the Philippine Islands, the Caribbean Islands to the east, and the Pacific Islands to the west are all indigenous people of the Western Hemisphere. And we are all Indians. And I want to explain that terminology that my mother, my teacher, my mentor told me. Indian is a human being. So you're all Indian. And so I'm standing here today in honor of my people and all people. The women that have been disappeared and murdered are in my heart and in my soul. We have a long road to go because we have to prove that we are human. Because there's a papal bull, a Pope's bulletin, that proclaimed to the world that Indian people had no souls. That's where the name-calling began. That's where the hate began against my people. We are considered less than animals, but let me tell you, the animals are superior to the human race. They take care of us in spite of all the slaughter and everything. So I'm very limited in time, I realize that, but I just want you to know that I really am proud of each and every one of you for standing up today for our rights. No matter how negative it may be out there in the world, we are on the right road because we are helping each other and we are standing side by side in this struggle for justice. From the bottom of my heart, I thank you very much. In my language, lim lim il kul kun hit. Thank you for your help.
I cannot think of a better way to start this day, this rally. That was so beautiful. What an incredible human being. Whew. Okay, next up, we have Monique Shaju. Monique is a certified teacher of the Okanagan language of her people and currently teaching at Inchelium Language House. She is pursuing her bachelor's degree at Eastern Washington University in communications. She is the recipient of the National Alice Big Pond Roach Award, the recipient of the 2017 Transforming Lives Award by the Washington State Board of Trustees. She graduated in August of 2017 with her Associate of Arts degree from Wenatchee Valley College of Omak, and I do believe this sign right down here is her passion. So, Monique.
White. Ahaswotchk.
Hello, my name is Water That Never Freezes.
Ushli in klaha klahap. Tit. In tomb Cindy Williams he squished. Eastem Tima Rose Williams he squished. Nyuchin tomb in Tupa Christine Williams he squished.
And my elders, my mother, her name is Cindy Williams, and my grandmother's name was Rose Williams.
Ushlimlimt. I'm aware that we do not have very much time, so I was asked to come up here and speak about the murdered and missing Indigenous women. They're here and in Canada too. That border is, that's just the line. That's not the same as, we don't stop praying when that border starts. We pray for all the Tamhulau. So I have been following the missing and murdered Indigenous women for a long time now. And the reason why is because in my home, I went through domestic abuse and I watched my mother go through it too. And I watched my mom try to tell the cops that she was getting hurt, and I watched them turn her backs on her. And that happens to Indian women all over in this country and in Canada. And it happens to Indigenous women and women all across the world. So I started following this. They started documenting. Our community documented this because the Department of Justice has no statistics. They have no numbers of how many have actually gone missing because of whatever reasons. The reasons are broad. There is no statistics. We don't even have numbers. Nobody's even counting our deaths. We live on reservations, and we are segregated from a lot of the world. Do you ever ask yourself, even though that our borders are open, why we still stay there? We love our land, and when our prayers go up with that tobacco, it doesn't stop at our reservations. But the safest we are is there, and what we're asking for is for you guys to recognize us, for the world to recognize us and our lives, that we deserve justice just like the rest of everyone else. I do have a couple, and these numbers are so fragile because we don't want it's a struggle to get any statistics out there. But I will tell you that we are the only race that the Department of Justice does not keep statistics for. 1 in 3 women, the leading cause of death for Native American women is homicide. And nationally, there was 322,263 women that reported missing in the US. Of that, 9,989 were Indigenous. Most of the time when those women are found, It's usually ruled as a suicide, if that, and they sometimes, for tourist reasons, because of statistics, they name us as a different race. So we're not even considered Native American in our death. So I just really want to emphasize how important it is, because she said 6,500 people. We're like in this little corner right here, and our numbers are high. The things that are happening to my community is high. So I have a limited time, like I said. I want to thank everyone here that gave us a voice and invited us to the conversation, because that's important. My name is Water That Never Freezes. My given name is Monique Berjou. I am of Northern and Southern Okanagan descent. My language is older than time itself. My people have been on this land for 10,000 years. We are called the Knowledge Keepers, and we are still here.
That was so beautiful. Oh my God. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Awesome. So beautiful.
Wow, incredible stories we're hearing today. A little bit of housekeeping. We have some seating up here for anyone that needs handicap type of seating. Please feel free to come up front. I'm pleased now to introduce Danielle Weeks with Planned Parenthood. Danielle has an incredible patient story, having lived in Indiana when Mike Pence was governor. Today, she is a rock star volunteer, helping fight back against the repeal of the Affordable Care Act and defunding Planned Parenthood, and using her powerful voice to inspire others to take action.
Hello, my name's Danielle, and I have been a volunteer advocate for Planned Parenthood since November 2016. 3 guesses why. As I'm sure many of you know, healthcare access has faced its share of battles in the past year. Last January, Trump expanded the global gag rule by signing an executive action that forbids foreign NGOs from getting US funds if they so much as mention the word abortion. And his administration ended US funding for family planning, maternal health, and gender equity programs overseas. Trump also signed a law that strips Title X protections from patients who seek family planning care at health centers that also provide abortion services. His pick for the Supreme Court was Neil Gorsuch, a man who has a history of undermining women's reproductive rights and the rights of LGBTQ Americans. In their effort to dismantle the ACA, this administration has tried to slash maternity care and newborn care insurance coverage and tried to defund Planned Parenthood, which simply meant blocking Medicaid patients from accessing preventive care at Planned Parenthood health centers. Time and time again, this administration has proven that they will not stop trying to shut Planned Parenthood down. And they do not care how many people, vulnerable women and girls around the world, American families and new mothers, they hurt in the process. But we are still standing because you stand with us. Yeah. We are still standing because with each new attack on healthcare access, you grab your pink poster board and gather with us outside our Congresswoman's office. You pick up your phones and call your members of Congress, or you write them another letter, and another, and another. You help escort and greet patients at our health centers so they know they are not alone. You help support our clinics through direct donations and by using your insurance at our healthcare clinics. You let this administration know that we are not going anywhere without a fight. This fight is happening every day, inside and outside the House and Senate chambers. It's happening in our community, too. When someone you know says that women should not have the right to sovereignty over their bodies, stand up. When someone suggests that people with lower incomes do not deserve access to affordable health care, stand up. When someone tries to deny our children a comprehensive, science-based sex education, stand up. When someone says our neighbors who are immigrants or refugees do not belong here, stand up. Whether the people saying these things are your members of Congress or your local school board or your family and friends, stand up. Planned Parenthood's mission is care, no matter what. That is what we are fighting for. That is what you help us fight for. Help us change the conversation, and you can help us change this nation. Thank you.
Passionate dance, flames of fire. I can feel my spirits flow higher and higher. Catch a glimpse, catch your eye. Lost from dance, burns deep inside. It's just a game. Gypsy when I'm free, gypsy like a child, gypsy play for me, gypsy when I'm wild, gypsy when I'm free, gypsy take a chance, stay with me, yeah, yeah, yeah. In the coals, burning embers, dreams remembered, call the darkness, stars ablaze. I feel your thoughts, and I'm in a daze. It's just So run away, like a gypsy running wild, gypsy running free, gypsy like a child, gypsy love me, gypsy running wild, gypsy running free, gypsy take a chance, gypsy say. I am standing on the shoreline, waiting for your kiss. Why do you run so far away? All that could be, you will miss. You're a gypsy running wild, gypsy running free, gypsy like a child, gypsy love me, gypsy running wild, gypsy running free, gypsy take a chance, stay with me, yeah. Stay with me.
Right on, huh? How's that for a powerful woman? Now I'd like to introduce you to Ms. Pamela Benton. Yes, absolutely incredible. You gonna play another one for us? I love that. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, Pamela Benton.
Yeah. As you brush your shoes, you stand before the mirror, and you comb your hair, you grab your coat and hat, yeah, and you walk the streets, trying to remember all those wild nights in your mind, and everything looks so complete when you're walking out on the street and the wind catches your feet, sets you flying, oh yeah. Ooh, ooh, wild night is calling. All the girls walk by, dressed up for each other, and the boys do the boogie woogie on the corner of the street, yeah. And the people passing by, they stare a wild wonder, and the jukebox roars just like thunder, and everything looks so complete when you're walking out on the street and the wind catches your feet and sets you flying in Spokane, Washington. Ooh, ooh, wild night. You can dance if you want to, yeah. Everything looks so complete when you're walking out on the street and the wind catches your feet and sets you flying. Oh, yeah. Ooh, ooh, wild dress up for each other and their pink hats, yeah. And the boys do the boogie woogie on the corner of the streets, yeah. And the people passing by just stare in wild wonder. And the jukebox roars just like thunder. And everything looks so complete when you're walking out on the street and the wind catches your feet and sets you flying. Girl, yeah. Ooh, ooh, wild night is calling. Wild night is calling. Hey. Wild night is calling. Coming out and dance. Ooh, yeah, come on out and make romance. Coming out and dance. Ooh, yeah, come on out and make romance. And everything looks so complete when you're walking out on the street and the wind catches your feet and sets you flying. Go ahead. Ooh, ooh-wee. Wild night is calling. Ooh, ooh-wee, yeah. Wild night is calling. Hey, hey. Thank you guys. Walking in the streets today. Thank you for doing that for all of us.
Oh, I love this woman. Absolutely. Awesome. Thank you for sharing your talent with us. It's time for a raffle. Does everybody have their little tickets in hand? Let's pull them up. We're going to pull 4 tickets. Give you a second to get them out, get them ready. I'm going to pull the numbers. If you win, just let me know, like raise your hand, scream at me or something, and I want you to go over here because we're going to continue on, okay? So, first number, are they all white? Oh, we have different colors, so I'll make it easy on you. If you have a white ticket, the number is 9559734. Shout out. Going once. We got a winner? Woo! Come on up. Come on up. Next ticket. This is, I think it's red. Ticket number 626353. 626353. Anybody in the house with that number? Okay, this is what we do. Next. You won? Did you win? No? Okay. You just want my attention there, Don. Hi, Don. Another red ticket. 625931. 625931. Going once, going twice. 625931. We're just going to keep going until 4 people win. Red ticket. Once again, red ticket. 626056. Did you guys just throw your tickets away? Wait, what? Did you win? No, you didn't throw. Hi, Karen. Hi. Okay, all right. I'm just going to keep going. Somebody's going to come up here and get some prizes. I'm going to take them all home. That's what I'm going to do. Okay, we have a white ticket. White ticket in hand. 9559870. 9559870. Oh, woo! Okay. 2 more. Unless I get bored. Red ticket. 626056. 6336. You guys, we have really good prizes to give away.
We're not looking.
626336. Right. I'm getting tired. This is the last one because I'd rather listen to speakers than myself personally. So, red ticket 626166. Oh, Dawn, I love you. This is not a setup, I promise you. She's a very dear friend of mine who, let's make sure she gets a good prize. Bring it up, sister. Yeah, they match. I think they're gonna match. I think they're, here, Dawn. Here, better check her. Want a blue ticket? Okay, put your hand in there with a blue ticket, Tamara. Pull out a blue ticket, because that's not cheating at all. That is not cheating at all. Here we go. Somebody better win this. Okay, oh look, she pulled a blue ticket. Woo! I can hardly read these blue tickets, by the way. 7819319. Oh! Blue ticket in the house. Here we go. All right, thank you. I have one bit of housekeeping, and if this was me, I would really be paying attention right now. Just saying, somebody's parking this thing was found in the elevators, I believe. So you can check your pockets, you can check whatever you need to. I'm gonna set it right here, so here it is. Who's next? Are you kidding, it's time? Yep. I love that. No, wait, DACA. Not yet. Not yet. Yeah, trust me, you will not be disappointed by this one, okay? I promise you. We have, speaking to us about DACA, right? Right? Seriously. This is a beautiful, 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 brave young woman. Her name is Catalina Corvalana. Oh, she comes with her fan club. Right on. Right on. Okay. Catalina is a first-generation Chilean-American student from Valparaiso, Chile. She is currently attending Whitworth University as an Act 6 scholar. She is currently the co-president of the Spokane Dream Project. Let's hear it, right? Right? Young and powerful. Catalina is studying health sciences on a physician assistant track and plans on specializing in healthcare, law, and policy that focuses on marginalized communities. Please help me welcome Catalina Corvalana.
Petite problems, y'all. Right. Thank you so much, everybody, for allowing me to share this platform as we rally today for love, for justice, and for rights, and for allowing me to be here among these amazing women. Thank you so much. It's an honor and a light in these turbulent couple of days. My name is Catalina Corvalán, and I am one of the 1 million undocumented DACA students in the United States. Yeah, the ones you hear on the news. My family moved from Chile in search of universal truths that y'all have heard of before, a better future for their family. Yet this truth has been a painful burden. As I grew up hearing about friends and neighbors incarcerated in deportation centers, their communities struggling to raise funds for legal aid that they had no access to, and families devastated, torn by miles and anxiety, I learned to live by evading questions about where I was from, to be cautious of police and enforcement, and to never bring attention to myself. So yes, right now, my mom is cringing. Pero te quiero, mami. So after graduating from high school, I came to Spokane to Whitworth University. Sko Bucks, y'all. And enrolled in the next stage of my life. Instead of just sticking, though, to my focuses of medicine, of learning about diseases and treatments, I realized the greater troubles that plagued my community and my country. My temporary work authorization and deportation referral, DACA, which I paid for and renewed every other year and a half, would not make it all the way to my dream of med school. Our Congress people would send lukewarm, vague messages of complacency about the undocumented community that we could no longer afford at this time and era. And worst of all, a healing pathway to citizenship for DACA recipients like me, while still upholding family values and not leaving behind many of the millions of undocumented people who never qualified, were always to succumb to walls and xenophobia. And with these urgent diagnoses, I became connected with the Spokane Dream Project, an undocumented advocacy organization for the greater Spokane. I could not stay silent and smiling while my community continued on unaware and the federal government continued to cut me off. We gathered signatures, we gathered letters, we made calls as we worked to make our campus a sanctuary campus, and as we called to make our local representative a supporter of a Clean Dream Act. I'm still on voicemail, Kathy. On a different day, I would urge you to do the same. Make a call, write a letter, do your civic duty. But I am living proof that the DREAM Act is a woman's issue, and women rights are human rights, y'all. That's right, let's go. Kathy voted against the DREAM Act in 2010 that would have protected thousands of immigrant young women like me. In 2013, she was against comprehensive immigration reform, and in 2017, she did nothing when Trump ended DACA. And today, she's not here because she chose to stand with men like Paul Ryan, Mitch McConnell, and Donald Trump instead of standing in solidarity with all the women in this room. That's just bad, y'all. Like, I don't know about you, we can make it simple. That's just bad. And somebody write a letter to Kathy about that because that's just disgraceful. So today, and being the true college student that I am as I worked on this speech last night, I remember 3 truths that are to me unalienable and we can all take away from today. 1, I may be undocumented, but I'm an American. Let's go. My family and I pay taxes, and even in our own undocumented situation, we're still proud of the country that we live in. I have lived here for more than half of my life, jumped at the sight of opportunity, and live every day thinking of how I can best serve my community. For my family did not cross borders in a hemisphere for me to throw it all away. And I assure you that for the many LGBTQ, for the refugees, and for many of the intersectional identities of our undocumented community, they didn't come all the way to throw it away either. Survival is what got us here, and survival is what defines us, and that's the most American value that I can think of. Let's go. I swear, like, try to name a better American value, I'll wait. 2, getting out to vote is important, but learning to vote on what is just as important. It hurts me to see our federal government punishing immigrants, punishing their families for a system that's just simply not there. I have American citizen family, and because of them, my family felt confident enough to apply for a visa. And if we would have waited for our visas to be granted to come to this country, I'd still be back in Chile. Like, the reason why there's so many dreamers speaking out, even in fears of deportation, of uncertainty, is because while talking about legislation and policies, our stories are scribbled out with petty words like chain migration, illegal, and alien. So when getting out to vote, think of the narratives that are being left behind and which representatives will truly create that inclusive America. Let's go. I have another point. I said 3 points. And 3, pitting communities against each other is just wrong. There is currently a government shutdown that is putting children who rely on CHIP against DACA recipients. That's just dirty. Don't ever feel like you're forced to choose one community over another. That's just not right. Dare I say, is that not American? This is my 2nd Spokane Women's March, and the power radiating from each and every one of us here is symbolic of what we all must do every day. If it's taking the time to write a letter, to take a call, do it. Keep this urgency on. We gotta make these other, 3 years last? Come on now. Voice your community's concerns whenever you can, and I urge you, in the misleading world that we're traversing through, to keep my truths in your movement. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you.
Yes, let's hear it stronger, louder. Woo! Don't forget to visit the incredibly amazing booths that we have scattered around. They have some really good information for you. Is Kathy McMorris Rogers in the house? Well, Kathy McMorris Rogers was invited to speak to us today to share how she is empowering women in our community. Unfortunately, she has declined due to a scheduling conflict. So, in lieu of Kathy speaking, I will take this time to talk about the Me Too movement, of which, sadly, I was a part. Tarana Burke is the original creator of the hashtag #MeToo campaign. Yes, yes, let's hear it. And it's recently been taken over by social media. She created the Me Too campaign in 2007 to help survivors of sexual assault and violence heal. The campaign recently turned into a hashtag after actress Alyssa Milano wrote a call out on Twitter asking followers to share their stories of sexual harassment and assault using the phrase, "Me Too," largely in response to Harvey Weinstein. In 1974, I was a 16-year-old working at my first job performing campground maintenance for the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. One Sunday, my boss asked me to ride in his pickup to a campground. He pulled into a shady lane, parked the pickup, and proceeded to grab my breast and force me into kissing him. I was filled with terror and anger. Fortunately, I was able to escape when my supervisor and coworker arrived driving another pickup. They drove past us, he looked up, and I took that moment to punch that man in the stomach. I jumped out of that pickup and I ran. And I went down to my supervisor, who was about 500 feet below at a campground, and I said, "Take me back to the visitor center." There was a woman, the only woman who was in a position of authority working that day. And when I went in to talk to her, I told her my story, and I'll never forget, she put her head in her hands and she said, "Oh my God, I thought that was over," after he lifted my skirt and went down my pantyhose. I reported him, and my mother stood behind me. This is 1974. You didn't talk about things like that then. Then the project engineer who was in charge came out to speak with me, and he said, while he put his feet up on a chair and leaned back and said, "Just what do you want us to do about this little matter?" Well, I leaned forward and I said, "Well, I've spoken to my mother, and she and I have concluded that you must fire this man, or we will take it to the media." It was done. Now we must give our daughters, our sisters, that same guidance. Persist and resist. Thank you. Now I have the honor and the pleasure to introduce Lisa Brown. Yes, please stand if you feel so inclined. Prior to joining WSU in January 2013 as chancellor, Lisa Brown served the Washington legislature for more than 20 years, representing the 3rd legislative district. After serving 2 terms in the State House of Representatives, she was elected to the Senate in 1995 and was appointed chair of the Ways and Means Committee in her first term. Lisa is challenging Republican Congresswoman Kathy McMorris Rogers for her seat in the 5th Congressional District.
Thank you. Wow. Wow. Thank you. Thank you. I wish you could all be here and see this view. This is amazing. Thank you for the organizers of this event and all those who are working the event and helping to maintain the building. It's really hard work. Thank you. Let's give them a round of applause. Thank you for your wisdom, Yvonne Swan. Thank you for your creativity, Pamela. And thank you for your incredible bravery, Catalina. Like Catalina, I have 3 things to share with you. The first question is, why are we here? And I like to start my speeches with poems, but I think this is a rally. It's got to be a chant. So I need your help. Why are we here? We're here because sisterhood is powerful. Here we go. Sisterhood is powerful. Sisterhood is powerful. Sisterhood is powerful. Thank you. Now, women in Spokane have been gathering for a long time. They've gathered by the river. The YWCA was founded in 1903 here, and I'm so proud that the mission of empowering women and eliminating racism is still here today. The Women's Club of Spokane was founded in 1907. We didn't have the right to vote then or conduct our own financial transactions. Native children were taken and put into boarding schools. And women's clubs across Washington, including here, and women's leaders like May Arkwright Hutton in the Inland Northwest, marched and spoke out so women could obtain the right to vote. And oh boy, are we going to use it. We are here because our values and principles, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, don't just happen because someone wrote them down. And liberty and justice for all doesn't just happen because we say it in the Pledge of Allegiance. We have always, in this state, in this country, and around the world, had to march for it, work for it, and even fight for our values and our rights and our principles. From free speech to religious freedom to the right to peaceably assemble, people have fought and marched. Yesterday I was in Walla Walla. Favorite slogan, let's hear it for Walla Walla. And I know we have people here today from all over the state. I talked to people from Lincoln County and Ferry County. Thank you all for being here. Yes, we've had to march, and yes, we've had to fight. A favorite slogan I saw yesterday was, "Fight like a girl." We honor those who marched and fought before us, and those who have even sacrificed their lives for our freedom and equality or our national security. So thank you to our veterans. Thank you to our first responders. I know there are a lot of you out here. Thank you to our educators. Thank you to our healthcare providers. Thank you to our caregivers. We honor all who serve when we continue to speak out and march to put our principles into practice and to put the freedom, equality, and justice we have on paper into our daily lives in reality. In 1980 in Spokane, I helped organize the first Women Take Back the Night March. And though we have brought the problem into the open, the Centers for Disease Control say half of all female homicide victim cases are related still to intimate partner violence. And in many of these cases, violence before the incident might have provided an opportunity for intervention. That's why we're here. We are here because though the laws of our state and our country say we have the right to make our own health and reproductive health decisions, a firebomb was tossed into the Planned Parenthood clinic in Pullman 2 years ago. And there are laws in state houses and in Washington, D.C. that threaten these rights today. We are here because the student debt crisis is a women's issue. The American Association of University Women, another organization that's been around a long time, has estimated that of the over $1 trillion held in student debt today, 2/3, or $833 billion, is held by women. And it takes women longer to pay off their student debt because of their lower pay when they enter the workplace. And if we can bail out financial institutions, and if we can provide relief to those at the top, why are we not providing relief and opportunity for our students? And finally, we are here, as Catalina pointed out, because though the majority of us support the hundreds of thousands of children, now students, known as Dreamers, and we support the 9 million children receiving health care through the federal-state partnership known as CHIP. The DREAM Act was rescinded by the president in September, and CHIP funding did expire that same month. And now, 5 months later, those programs are pitted against each other and used as bargaining chips in a DC showdown. We're here to change that. The second question: what can we learn from each other as women and across our differences? This is a really important question. The women's movement in the 1970s had a slogan, "The personal is political." Today, politics has a bad name. There's polarization and blaming and name-calling, and the level of civil discourse in some media outlets and even by some elected leaders is not only in the gutter, but it's hateful and discriminatory, and yes, it's racist. But politics is really just about power, how it's distributed, who makes the rules, and whether we talk about it or not, it's everywhere. So when these women said that the personal is political, here's what they meant. They meant if you're feeling bad about your body, maybe you think you're too short, or you don't like your hair, or your hips aren't the right shape, maybe it's not about you. Oh, and I learn this so much more every year when I look at these beautiful children. I wish they could understand and carry with them their whole life how beautiful they are. It's not about you. It's about a beauty standard that is impossible to attain for many. And if we share our experiences and tell each other how we feel, we can change it. If you were passed over for a promotion or a pay raise, it might not be about you. It might be because there's gender and race discrimination in the workplace. And once we see it and once we expose it, we can pass laws to prevent it. If you are a victim of violence in the home or on a college campus or sexual harassment in the workplace, and you are silent or feel trapped, it's not your fault. We need to believe you, create a safe place for you and your children, help you rebuild your life if necessary, and we need to hold perpetrators accountable. The personal is political meant that by coming together as women across our differences, we were able to share our stories, learn from each other, form bonds of solidarity, which enabled us to grow stronger and braver, to fight silence and apathy and powerful interests who didn't want change because they benefited from the status quo. And although power and politics is about power, power is not a zero-sum game. That's the big misconception out there. The out-and-out lie that is perpetrated by many. Power is not a zero-sum game unless it's about controlling or dominating others. If women have power, do men have less? No. If dreamers get the opportunity to be educated here, is there less opportunity and education to go around? No. So those false choices have to be rejected. I think many of us, especially those of us who are parents, start to learn this as we raise our children. We don't raise them to be strong and powerful because we want them to have power over others. We raise them to be strong and powerful because we want them to have the power to live out their lives, fulfill their potential, transform their lives, families, communities, and country. Okay, where do we go from here? The short answer is anywhere we want. We continue to speak out. One of the favorite signs I saw yesterday online in another city was, "You're so vain, you probably think this march is about you." I've got news for him. This march is about you. Every one of you. Every one of us is the center of our own universe. We have family, friends, our workplace, members of our faith community, the other parents at our kids' school, the people we bike or run Bloomsday or walk with, even the people in our neighborhoods that we haven't met yet, but once we knock on our doors, we're going to meet them. We can spread the message of opposition to discrimination in all its ugly forms. We can spread the message against violence in all its tragic manifestations in our society. We can embrace liberty and justice for all, and the freedom and the beauty we saw today, and the gains that we achieve when we bring people with different identities and backgrounds and circumstances in life together, share our stories, and learn from each other. How do we speak out? It's not just a speech with a microphone. You can have the conversations. You can write the letters. You can write the poems and songs. You are also the center of your digital universe. Build it up. Follow each other. So when you have something to say, your friends and family can hear it. I know they say follow your political leaders on Facebook and Twitter, and of course you can do that. But let's make the political leaders follow us. So tell your political leaders what you think when something happens like the DREAM Act is rescinded, or the Children's Health Program expires, or the government shuts down. Continue to march and stay informed, connected, and inspired, like many of us were last week at the Martin Luther King March. And focus particularly on racial justice and equality, or last summer at the Pride March, or at Free Speech Fridays, or in our indivisible groups. Your vote is also your voice. So I do hope you will register to vote, update your registration, help your friends update theirs, and then get out and vote. Not just in November, we all know about that. But what about February 13th? We've got to vote for schools and libraries and fire districts. We've got to choose city council people and school board members, state legislators. So let's vote in every election, in February, in August, and in November. And just to help you remember how to do that, there's a website for that. There's an app. It's called My Vote, myvote.wa.gov. And there are tables back there who can also help you check your voter registration, change it, maybe even flip it from where you went to school and from where you live and where you go to school. So myvote.wa.gov. And I thought we could end with a chant like we started with the chant. And this one could be my voice, my vote. So my voice, my voice, my voice. Thank you, Spokane Women's March 2018. You're wonderful.
Oh, yay. Yay, 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 Lisa Brown. I'm so glad we have you in our lives. Next up, we have one of Spokane's best musicians, best singers, Miss Abby Crawford. She is here to sing for us today, but it gets even better than just Abby because she has brought her daughter, Amelia, to sing with her. So what an absolute blessing it is to have Abby Crawford and Amelia.
Thank you so much for having us here today. We could not think of a better place to sing this next song like I already did one. I know I'm not very funny right now. Sorry, I'm excited. Thank you, Lisa Brown. She's amazing. Oh my God, I can barely breathe. All right, it's a song by Helen Reddy. It's called I Am Woman. I am a woman, hear me roar, in numbers too big to ignore, and I know too much to go back and pretend.
'Cause I've heard it all before, and I've been down there on the floor. No one's ever gonna keep me down again. Oh, yes, I am wise, but it's wisdom born of pain. Yes, I've paid the price, but look how much I've gained. If I had to, I can do anything. I am strong. I am invincible. I am woman.
You can bend but never break me, 'cause it only serves to make me more determined to achieve my final goal.
And I come back even stronger, not a novice any longer, 'cause you've deepened the conviction in my soul. Oh, yes, I am wise, but it's wisdom born of pain. Yes, I've paid the price, but look how much I've gained. If I had to, I can't do anything. I am strong.
I am strong.
I am invincible.
I am invincible.
I am woman.
I am a woman, watch me grow. See me standing toe to toe as I spread my loving arms across this land.
But I'm still an embryo with a long, long way to go until I make my brother understand. Oh, yes, I am wise, but it's wisdom born of pain. Yes, I've paid the price, but look how much I've gained. If I had to, I can do anything.
I am strong.
I am strong.
I am invincible.
I am invincible.
I am
Woman. I am strong. I am invincible. I am woman. Hear me roar.
Whew, mother and daughter singing together. That doesn't get more beautiful than that, does it? Come on, let's give it up for Abby and Amelia Crawford. Yes, you guys, that was special. That was special. I think it's time we hear from the NAACP. How about you? Right? Right? I'm pretty sure they're here. Pretty sure they're here. Okay. We have Curtis Robinson and we have Sharon Randall with us. Now, this man, Curtis, he's a Spokane NAACP president, NAACP Alaska, Oregon, Washington State Area Conference Criminal Justice Chair. He's a Smart Justice Spokane Executive Committee member, Behavioral Health Advisory Board member, Revive Center for Returning Citizens Board member, Community Court Adversary Board member. Now check that out, because like if that's not enough, oh my God, the man's a fireman. Okay, right? Like, yeah. Yeah, out in the valley. He's an absolutely beautiful soul. I've got to work with him on a few things, and oh, I adore him. And with him is Sharon Randall. She is the NAACP first vice president, yes. Spokane chapter. Right on. She has a master's degree in social work from the University of Washington. All right. Her passion includes helping underrepresented, culturally diverse youth populations who are struggling with drug and alcohol addiction. Please, let's give it up, NAACP.
Wow. So, yeah, you know, this is just a radical, marvelous event. And we were just kind of talking down there for a minute, and I'm going to try not to take up too much time. We're kind of splitting up the time, and I know everybody's kind of had a full day so far. But I'm really honored because as far as I know, I'm like the only man that's been invited to stand up here today. You know, and I was kind of vacillating when I was coming to that understanding between worry and honor. You know, so, you know, I mean, but, you know, really, I'm just going to land on what an honor it is to be asked by Indivisible and all of their constituents to stand up here today and make a statement to you guys on behalf of the NAACP and just the great work that I've seen happen here today. And so with that, number one, I want to go ahead and apologize to all of you women and all of you impacted people. On behalf of, since I'm the only man up here, let me just go ahead and assume that responsibility to apologize to you on behalf of men across this nation and over a period of time for the patriarchal harm that we have caused our society. When we should have been leading and we should have been compassionate, we have been over-controlling and dominant. And so my commitment to you and to my daughters, you know, to my mother has always been, and I'm a man that's been raised by women, has to not be that guy. So. And I want to thank everyone and applaud everyone that had a hand in putting this together. Let's hear it for Indivisible, Spokane, and all of their allies. But what do you say at times like this that we're living in, about a time when capitalism, imperialism, classism, misogynism, racism, resentmentism, selfishism, entitlementism, and all of the rest of the isms are dominating the way that they are trying to do today? I've heard it said the other day at the MLK rally that chaos was being unnecessarily created, but I'm here to tell you, when I look across and I see all these isms come out from hiding, yet compare that at the way the creation universe works. I see how the source, the mother, the creator, the Christ, the Hamashiach work. What seems chaotic to us has historically at many times turned out to be a great area of opportunity. An area of potential, growth, and invitation for positive change and an opportunity for the agents of change to rise up. And if you look around, if you saw what happened today, and you look at yourselves and you look around these rooms, you are them. You are the agents of change, my sisters. What happened at this event, this turnout today? What an awesome example of the reality of that process in action, right? Okay. The women, the allies of Indivisible heard the call and rose up to the challenge. They became the agents of change in this arena here today in Spokane. I have to applaud that. Okay? And there are many great examples of that's happening here in Spokane, and you know who you are. And we, the Spokane NAACP, are striving to be that as well. Our executive committee has grown to the largest it's probably ever been in its history. And I'm proud and mindful to say to you here today that our new 13-person executive committee is 70% women. Isn't that awesome? Okay. Yes, the agents of change are alive and well, and we have a lot of important things in the works as the NAACP, and we will be revealing those more as time moves on. But I'm here to tell you that one of those agents of change is here with us today. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and introduce you to our new Spokane NAACP First Vice President, Sharon Randall.
Hello and thank you. Yes, thank you, Curtis. That's a hard act to follow. But I'm only going to take a short amount of your time because we don't have much. We have other stuff on the agenda. But I just want to talk about that. Since I've been in the NAACP, I've took on the Youth Task Force Committee, which our focus right now is actually our youth council. We had a youth council that was developed in 1977, but it has not been active. So we're trying to reactivate our youth council. So we developed a youth task force. So we had a group of our people coming together where we're working with youth in the community. We're talking to college students, high school, elementary, because we do want to get the youth council back up and going. So if anybody's interested in joining the youth council, you have to be 25 years and under. And what it is it'll be your own separate branch than the main branch. It'll be all owned, operated, and ran by youth. So if you are interested, or anybody's interested in being part of the youth council, please visit the NAACP Spokane NAACP website and register to be part of the youth council. And thank you very much.
No, we're not going to. I love Curtis. I'm just saying I do. I just love him. I love you. Thank you. Do we all know what the Jonah Project is? Yes? No? There's a sex trade slave thing going on in Spokane, Washington, for God's sake. It just hurts my soul to even have to say that out loud. Okay, well, I'm going to introduce you to Nicole Bishop next. She's a graduate of Amherst College, where she obtained her BA in political science in 2012. She has interned with the White House, writing speeches for Vice President Biden, and served as Senator Cantwell's Eastern Washington intern. Currently, she serves as vice chair on the Spokane Human Rights Commission, where she also chairs the Anti-Trafficking Subcommittee. Yes, right? Tragic, and yet we applaud at the same time. She serves as a director for the Jonah Project and for Fulcrum Institute Dispute Resolution Clinic, and also works as an assistant debate coach at Mount Spokane High School. Please, warm round of welcome for Nicole Bishop from the Jonah Project.
First, I want to say thank you so much to Indivisible Spokane and the organizers who pulled out an amazing march. Let's give them a round of applause. And thank you in particular for adopting the Jonah Project for something that is so important. As I've looked out on this march today and I saw this sea of pink, empowered women and supportive men fighting to prove that love wins, I've been choking back tears for the beauty and the unity this proves in our community. The Jonah Project has a motto that says, "Compassion changes everything." And as I look out, I see the catalyst here today of compassion who will work to change everything in our community. So like Murphy so kindly said, the Jonah Project works to end sex trafficking in Spokane and provide support to victims on their path to becoming survivors. So you have to wonder, why is the Jonah Project necessary in Spokane, Washington, of all places? Well, let me give you some statistics. It is estimated that at any given evening, 1,500 people are being trafficked in Spokane. That's men, women, boys and girls, kids plucked directly from our schools, groomed from an average age of 11 to 12 years old, being plucked into sex trafficking. 7 years. That's the average life expectancy of a youth once they get involved in sex trafficking. These kids are being plucked from our schools before they're old enough to drive a car and dying before they're old enough to legally buy their first drink. This is unacceptable in our community. It's sad that it affects our homeless populations as well. 1 in 5 homeless youth will be propositioned for trafficking within 48 hours of being homeless. 1 in 5 admit to having been involved at some point. That's just those who admit to it. This is a huge problem in Spokane that needs to be addressed, which is why the Jonah Project exists. Let me start by telling you a story. This was the first person the Jonah Project saved with sex trafficking. She saw her sister undergo unspeakable acts at the hand of a trafficker. And as she sat in math class, that same person who repeatedly abused and brutalized her sister was whispering in her ear, "You're next." This person, we'll call her Natalie, was the first person the Jonah Project saved. She's now the general manager of a chain restaurant and is going to get her degree in culinary arts. That was 3 years ago, our first person. The Jonah Project is now up to 130 human beings that we've advocated for, and it's growing exponentially. So now let's take a look into what our model looks like. We work to help this problem on 3 fronts: proactively, reactively, and restoratively. Proactively, we know that the best way to help this problem is by getting to these kids before it becomes a problem in the first place. So we work closely with high schools. We work closely with kids coming to us to give them the advocacy, give them the love they need before they're able to be picked out of our classrooms. Second is reactively. Right here, I have a phone. It's our rescue line. It's a 24-hour rescue line. If you call this number right now, I don't care that I am up here giving a speech. I'm going to answer this phone, and I'm going to walk through to help these kids. And we have dozens of volunteers who help us with this as well. So sometimes we'll get a call from a counselor, sometimes from a kid. But we have trained rescue team that it doesn't matter what's going on. It doesn't matter how late it is or how tired we are. You say you're in trouble, we will come to you. We will help you. We will say, it's okay, you're safe now, and no one ever has to lay their hand on you again. So now we have them and they're safe. The last step is restorative. First, we offer housing. We have 2 safe houses in Spokane. It's run like a home to give these kids the family and the stability that they need to thrive and survive. But we're also not a program, and we know that the second the kid turns a certain age or reaches a certain milestone, it doesn't mean that they quit needing our help. So we offer advocates to them who will walk through them for life, providing them that love and support to replace that critical figure who treated them so poorly. Mr. Rogers has a quote where he talked about he would see really terrible things happening, and he would talk about this to his mom. To reassure him, she said, "Whenever you see things like that, look to the helpers." As I look out here, I see a lot of helpers who could help resolve this problem. So how? First, know that we are entirely volunteers, so every cent, every donation is instrumental to us. It goes directly to the victims as they move on the path toward becoming survivors. That is vitally helpful. Second is your time, your care, and your love. We're always looking for advocates, people to walk through these kids for life. We never like to put a kid in a house unless we have an advocate to match with them. What we do, we want to do well. So please, if you're interested in donating or advocating or helping in any number of passions that you feel like you can offer, we have some amazing volunteers back there at the Jonah Project tables. please sign up. We will get you started. If you're in the area, though, where you just want to get more information, please join us on January 30th at the Spokane Public Library downtown at 6 o'clock. There's an art exhibit called If You Really Knew Me, which highlights the stories of survivors on their path to recovery. And not only that, but offers a forum so the survivors can interact with the community to show that they too can help save another person's life. Again, we're at 130 people and growing, and it's people like you and your support and your uniting that can help us, help other people like Natalie, who's now well on her way for her life, prove that with our community, nevertheless, she and everyone else persists. Thank you.
Okay, so they're kind of bossing me around over here. Nobody claimed their raffle tickets, and we have a lot of prizes to give away. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna see what runs through my head. All right. So, which speaker did not show up? Who's first? Okay, go give her a prize. Beautiful. Who in the house has pink hair? Pink hair. Okay, there's some any more people with pink hair? Two pink hair people. Two pink hairs. One over there, one over here. Right there and right there. And right, oh, we got three. Three. We got one over here. There's three right over here. We might need some more runners. We gotta get rid of these prizes. Okay. Let's see, we've done pink hair. Who has dreadlocks in the house? Huh? Oh, right here. Here we go. Dreadlocks. We got some dreadlocks. Two. We got two. Oh, you have pink hair. We got another pink hair over here. Come on up, sweet. Come here, and I don't know your name. We'll give you a prize. Pink-haired prize. What do we got going on here in the house? What do you want me to say, mister? Huh? Who here, no, I can't do that, they're adult presents. They're, who has three powerful daughters? Oh, okay, hands up. How many we got? 1, 2, 3, 4. That's beautiful. Are we out of prizes yet? I don't know. Everybody, we got back here. Hands up. Hands up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It doesn't matter. Can you help, Michael? We have another one back there. Can you come this way, please? Thank you. We have one coming this way, too bad. Oh, hey, we might just get rid of all of them. What did I say? Pink hair, powerful daughters. Another. Oh, yeah. I do like advice sometimes. Who is the oldest female in the house tonight? In the house. In this house right here. We got it. Who's gonna? What do we got? Okay, we're at, is that a 7-0? We have a 70-year-old. 92. Where's our 92? Oh, please. Where are you? Where's she at? Okay. Will you hold her prize for her? There we go. You want me to give this away, this basket away? Am I giving away this basket? Oh, right. I picked that word. I'm drawing a blank at the last minute. Who? Okay. If you wore a pink tutu today, please stand up. There we go. They can split it. They can split it. There we go. I kind of think they might have, be in cahoots there. So there, we got rid of the gifts. Now, while I am talking before anyone else ventures out of here, Oh, we're skipping that part. I had this opportunity yesterday, and what I'm going to share with you is that I am so grateful for waterproof mascara. Okay, seriously. There are a group of people here, small group, known as Power to the Poetry. I would like to introduce them. Bethany, AJ, and Brandon.
I got a poem for you guys today. It's called Black Lives Matter. Just know I am a visionary. I am a revolutionary, which means that pretty soon I will be in the obituary. But I will not let my dream die. My vision for the future will become alive. Black, white, and all in between with their fists held high. That's black pride. Black lives matter. And yes, we do understand that all lives matter too, but obviously there are still too many people confused because black men, women, and children are being killed in the streets, murdered in cold blood by the crooked police. So you see, too many do not understand what this thing, Black Lives Matter, means because obviously society does not value black lives. We must use hashtag Black Lives Matter just to drill the concept in their minds. Too many forget that black lives are not something that can just be thrown away. There is no justice. Murderers walk free instead of being locked away. Black lives matter, but don't get it messed up. No one deserves to be murdered in cold blood. Black, white, Asian, Mexican, Indian, whatever the color of your skin. At the end of the day, we are all humans and we all deserve the preservation of life. But don't get it twisted. Black people should not be afraid to drive because if they get pulled over by a cop, they might get shot and die. Black lives matter. And you could say that I am biased because I am one of those black lives, but am I wrong for caring about my own kind, for caring about my own kin, for caring about people with my same skin? If we don't support our own, then who will? Make America great again? Please, America was founded on degradation and sin. Black lives matter, and that's a concrete fact. So if any of you want to belittle this movement, then you can go back. You can go back to wherever it is that you came from, because as I recall, this isn't your native land either. We didn't ask to come here. We were forced. But guess what? Guess what? We're not leaving because our ancestors put their blood, sweat, and tears into this soil. This is our home now, and it is our duty to make them proud. We must support our own because no one else will. Black lives matter. It's either kill or be killed. And I don't condone violence. There are plenty of other ways, so please understand the metaphors I am attempting to convey. Survival of the fittest, social Darwinism. Do I even need to explain? If we do not evolve to the environment, then we will decay. Because year after year, they are killing us at a higher rate. But you want to know something even worse? Is we kill our own people even faster, which makes it even sadder when we say Black Lives Matter. So do black lives actually matter? As a matter of fact, they do. But until we lead by example, they will kill us just as examples to prove that this country never really changed, that black people still remain slaves. Black lives matter. And the solution is not in evolution. Throughout history, the only way to bring forth change is through revolution. And as I stated previously, I am a revolutionary. So the revolution has begun. And I hope all of you will join. Black Lives Matter. Power to the poetry. please check out Power to the Poetry. Like us and follow us on Facebook. If you guys recorded videos, tag us, Power to the Poetry. Go on our website if you want to book us for any universities or events or organizations. Look up our website, powertothepoetry.com. Thank you, Power to the Poetry.
Thank you for sharing with us. Absolutely. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much for being here. All right.
Oh, God.
Okay, if anybody won one of those prizes for legal reasons or whatever, if you're still here in the house, would you please go over there and just let them know, give them your name, so that they can write that down that you got the get your name, the person that won the gift. If you want a gift, would you tell them go over and tell them your name? Thank you. Okay. Oh, right on. Okay, next up, from the trans LGBTQ, we have Tabitha Wolf. Tabitha is a board member and group facilitator with Spokane Trans People, which is the largest peer-to-peer transgender support group in the Inland Northwest. She's passionate about the LGBTQ issues and is honored to be in a position to help the community she loves. Please welcome Tabitha Wolf.
Thank you for having me. Oh, definitely. Holy cow. Hello. I can't tell you how amazing it is to see so many faces in the crowd, so many people who stand in solidarity against sexism, bigotry, transphobia, homophobia, and anyone who would seek to diminish the diversity of our community or our nation. 2017 was a difficult year for our country, and especially so for our marginalized groups. As a transgender woman of mixed race, I know from hard experience that we cannot sidestep issues that some might find controversial. As Harvey Milk once said, coming out is the most political thing you can do. Political or not, it's terrifying. The risk involved keeps many from discovering their most authentic selves for years or even decades. Older folks often lose their marriage, relationships with their children and grandchildren, and the financial security that they've worked a lifetime to build. Younger folks risk being kicked out of their home by parents who care more about religious dogma than the well-being and happiness of their own children. Trans people in general, but especially trans women of color, are murdered on a regular basis in this country and around the world. I'm part of the leadership team of Spokane Trans People, a group that provides support, friendship, and community for trans people in the Inland Northwest. And believe it or not, there are more trans people in the area than you might think. There's no good metric to measure us, but I've personally encountered hundreds of individuals, and yeah, I swear, there are a ton of us out there. Woo! There's one. As a group facilitator, I have the privilege of watching people come into group for the first time, still deep in the closet, fearful, uncertain, depressed, hopeless. And over the course of a few months or a year, they blossom into vibrant, happy, even giddy individuals. I'm looking at you. I'm supposed to talk about my organization and how you can help. Feel free to give us money, we're right over there. But honestly, that's not what we really need. The trans community needs your acceptance, not just your begrudging tolerance. We need you to see through the stereotypes, through the negative portrayals in media. We need you to realize that we're just regular people living regular lives. We're the cashier at the grocery store, or the customer service person on the other end of the phone, or the firefighter who saves your life. Because we come from all walks of life. We have GEDs and PhDs. We're just like you in many ways. And beyond the soul-crushing stress of existing in a society that is openly hostile, we're often well-adjusted individuals. You can help by shutting down the next person you hear questioning someone's gender, by telling your coworker to stuff it when they make a hurtful joke, or by supporting your friend who just shared that their child might be trans. But most importantly, if you have a trans person in your life, use empathy, love, and your friggin' ears. Listen to the trans people in your life, because our needs are different, as is our willingness to discuss trans issues with the curious. If they want to talk about it, fine. If they want you to drop it, still fine. Listen with a willingness to learn and acknowledge that it's a privilege to be let in. Thank you for listening. Thank you for standing up for what's right. And thank you for being part of a wave of change that will hit America like a tsunami.
Yeah, right on. Yes, very good. Thank you, Tabitha. Next up, we have somebody else that I absolutely adore. Her name is Lane Pavey. Yeah, right. Very powerful, powerful woman. I think she was on the front page of the Spokesman Review not too long ago. If you've heard of Ban the Box, we can attribute that to Lane Pavey. There's a bunch of other stuff in here too, but you know what? I just absolutely love her. So I'm calling her up. She's a social worker. She's incredible. She's awesome. She is Lane Pavey.
Well, I think we've learned that Lisa Brown has to go last next year. But in order to speak about this issue, I need everybody here to turn it all the way up again, because I just cannot keep quiet about talking about issues relating to mass incarceration and how they impact women today. So maybe I'm gonna Lisa Brown it up and make you chant. Ready? No justice. No justice. No justice. Thank you. Oh my gosh, I feel so much better. Women are the fastest growing prison population, growing at the rate at nearly double of men since the time that we just declared war on drugs, which we all know has failed. We know right now that there are currently 100 million women behind bars. 100 million women in the behind bars, as well as in the correctional system on probation, and we know that 65,000 of those women are mothers. We have created a system that sends women to go behind bars for issues relating to our trauma. And that's one thing that we are not talking about that I really wanted the whole group here to talk about, because this is really the thing that unites us together when we look at the patriarchy that is controlling the correction system in America. We also know that there are rampant racial disparities. While it is 1 in 111 white women that goes to prison, it's 1 in 18 black women. It's 1 in 45 Latina women. And as our Native American sister shared earlier, there are no stats for Native American women. And then we're sent into a system that wants us to take responsibility for the perpetration against us that put us into the situation that we're in. There's documented evidence of the abuses of corrections officers against women in prison. In fact, the Corrections Officers Union just in 2015 attempted to argue that they should be allowed to stay with women while they are having to be strip searched or while they're living in housing, because women just need to get used to the prevalence of sexual abuse and sexual harassment that's in our society, and argued just in 2015 that this is something that helps with our reintegration and recovery process. So we're dealing with an evil system. I want you guys to know that 9 out of 10 women who are in prison for murder were defending themselves from their perpetrator. Overwhelmingly, women in the prison system, 85% in fact, have reported both emotional and physical abuse from intimate partner violence in their adulthood, and 90% have reported sexual and physical abuse in their childhood. So even though we have a ton of issues in the prison system, one of the biggest issues is what we can now call the abuse to prison pipeline. We need to stand up as women, regardless of race, regardless of socioeconomic status, regardless of education level, and talk about that the biggest predictor of a prison sentence for a woman is whether or not we have been abused. And then, we're in a system that wants us to take responsibility. It absolves our abusers, and it leaves us sitting in a prison cell, crying to ourselves, uttering the most shameful words that we can experience when we have been abused. I guess this must be my fault. Which brings me to reentry. We come back out into society. We have to immediately take care of our children, take care of our families. If we are lucky enough to get them back, we have to do treatment and we have to find a job. We've been unable to find a job. We're unable to get paying living wage jobs, unable to go into the higher education system due to the lack of support we have from the rest of the community. Our organization did pass Ban the Box. Yay, thank you. We were able to get a fair chance to get at least into the initial interview process so that we can be looked at for our qualifications first. But this is not far enough. We have a president who wants us to continue to privatize prisons so that there is even less accountability for what's going on for women behind bars. And we also, despite the fact that men are 90% of the prison population and we're only about 10%, every single one of those men has some woman, maybe 3 or 4, on the outside holding it down for them while they're incarcerated. That can be empowering and disempowering for us because we're always the ones left to clean up the mess. And when the primary breadwinner of the family is behind bars, who is paying for the kids and the childcare? So there are a ton of issues. I just wanted to share this with you. Murph wants us to talk about what you can do to support us. Please join the Smart Justice Campaign. Please donate to the Revive Center for Returning Citizens, our nonprofit. Please invite us to come speak. If you are a Democrat, we should be on your agenda. Ending mass incarceration should be on your agenda. We will come tell you about all of the bills that we have a chance to pass now that we have flipped the 45th this year. There is a statewide Ban the Box initiative. There is reforming the legal financial obligation system, which is its own presentation. We have a bill that would bring in an external ombudsman to oversee the Department of Corrections so that you can actually investigate the rape charges and the things that are happening in the prison system. And we just want you to give people like us a chance. We've done our time. We came back out. The prison system did not redeem me. My community can redeem me. I can redeem me. And when I come back out, I need that chance to get in front of you to show that I'm worthy of the opportunity you might be able to give me. So while we are trying to privatize this stuff, I just want to lastly say, F Donald Trump, and down with the patriarchy that is the criminal justice system. Thank you.
That's Lane Pavey, right?
Yeah.
Yes, 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 yes. Okay, just earlier this morning, I had the honor of meeting Jack Archer. Jack's going to come up and speak to us about the person is the political, kind of what Lisa Brown was mentioning. Jack is a writer and activist and the vice chair of the Spokane County Democrats. An alum of Eastern Washington University, they serve on the President's Committee on Diversity, an advocate for racial and gender equality, on the Mayor's 21st Century Workforce Task Force. They describe themselves as a binary smashing and unabashedly pro-queer, pro-woman, and pro-black, believing it's impossible to fully embrace one without the other two. Please welcome Jack Archer.
Hey, so thank you to everyone who is still here for sticking it out and showing your commitment to all this. That's awesome. So originally I was supposed to be talking about voting rights or something, and then I was supposed to talk about let's get out the vote, but I'm not going to do either because you've heard that message, and frankly, I don't think that message is enough. I'm here to ask you to be political. See, now sometimes when we say political, we mean partisan. We mean the red versus blue, the American blood sport, complete with animal mascots and points and winners and losers. But that is not what I'm here to talk about. Earlier, Lisa Brown reminded us that the personal is political. But another way to say this is that our quality of life is affected by the activities of governance and democracy. I'm here personally because in the private sector, Black women in Spokane make 47 cents on the white male dollar. I'm here because local and state law are still catching up with the needs of people who live with chronic mental illness, myself included. I'm here because in the wake of the election, one of my friends was beaten down outside a bar because he was a fairy fag, sorry for the harsh language, told this is Trump's America, and told that he was not welcome here anymore. A few months later, this administration would remove references to LGBT people from the federal websites, announce that we would no longer be counted in the census, and declare through some papers filed by the AG's office that the Civil Rights Act of 1964 does not protect gays and lesbians from employment discrimination. It does not have to be this way. Our jobs, our safety, our health, our quality of life is affected by the activities of governance and democracy. Being political is caring about yourself, caring about your neighbors, caring about your day-to-day life, caring about the day-to-day life of those around you, caring about your community, caring about Spokane, caring about Washington, caring about this country. So I'm here to ask you to invest in our democracy. Invest in our quality of life as a community. Do not leave this place. Do not end today without a plan about how you're going to invest. Throughout the day, people on the outskirts of this room had all kinds of ideas about how you could do that. And every speaker up here has their information out there. You can contact the organizers of this march. You can contact us if you already have our information and ask us, what do I do next? What do I do now? And remember that it's not something we do once a year. It's not something we do yearly. It is something we do every year. It is something we do every day. I'm really encouraged by events like this. And even though the room is smaller than it was before, what we see here are people who are committed. What we see here are people who are willing to put their blood, sweat, and tears into change on so many levels. Justice for women of all ethnicities, justice for people of all genders and sexualities, justice for the environment, justice for those who have been incarcerated, justice for those who have been abused, justice for our community. So thank you for being here. And let's go get political.
Whoa, that was powerful. Now I'd like to introduce Autumn Reed of NOW, Spokane. Is she here? Yes, there she is. Spokane Area NOW, the National Organization for Women, is an intersectional feminist organization working to maintain reproductive rights for all women, eliminate economic inequities, eradicate racial disparities, extinguish injustices against the LGBT community, and promote equality and justice for all. Autumn Reed has been president of Spokane Area NOW since July 2017.
Hi, wow. Good afternoon, everybody. What an amazing weekend and turnout across the entire country. Is that we should all feel so proud that our voices were heard and that we have the ability to do that. As the last speaker of the day, I feel it's my duty to carry us forward into the future. I have a really similar message to Jack. We marched last year because we were outraged. We marched because we were horrified. We marched because we knew that our rights were going to be threatened. We marched because we were shocked, but we also marched because we wanted to show solidarity with one another. We stood here today because that shock has worn off. After today, the time for marching is over. The time for social media indignation is over. The time for silent outrage and disagreement, it's over. The time for casual observation and thinking that you cannot make a difference, it's over. 10 years ago, a woman of color, activist Tarana Burke, created a movement to affirm the experiences of other women of color who had survived sexual abuse, assault, and exploitation. The Me Too movement has blown up beyond anyone's expectations, but that space has mostly been occupied by white women. It's important for us as survivors and as allies to recognize its origins, but more importantly, that women of color are more likely to be abused and assaulted, and that their perpetrators are less likely to be brought to justice. Spokane Area Now stands with everyone impacted by sexual harassment, abuse, assault, and rape, and especially those who face intersecting oppressions related to their race, sexual orientation, gender identity, disability, mental health, and/or socioeconomic status. Spokane Area Now is fighting against this culture at the local level, and we sit on the City of Spokane Task Force aimed at stopping sexual harassment, gender and race pay inequities, and other forms of discrimination. We're working with City Hall so that a new and comprehensive harassment policy is enacted swiftly. We also support efforts by local organizations like Lutheran Community Services and Spokane SART Foundation to ensure trained, sane sexual assault nurse examiners are in our hospitals at all times. And we're working with Unite Against Rape Washington to raise money to pay for backlogged sexual assault kits to be tested in our state. Currently, there are approximately 10,000 untested kits in Washington, and that's going to cost us $2.3 million for an already overburdened state crime lab to process. On Thursday, February 8th at 5:30 in the Northeast Community Center, I urge everyone to join us in attending the Time's Up Spokane Town Hall. Lutheran Community Services, survivors, their loved ones, law enforcement, prosecutors, medical professionals, judges, crime lab scientists, victim advocates, trauma therapists, and victims' rights attorneys will be speaking about their truth. It's important to map this entire landscape to determine what's broken and how we can fix it. I strongly encourage you to make the time and the space to be at this event. You can get more involved with us, Spokane Area Now, by having a drink with us this Thursday at 6 o'clock at the Observatory on Howard Street, or by visiting our website at spokanenow.org. If the things that I've said don't speak to you and move you to get involved with Spokane Area Now, there are a number of amazing organizations in this community whose mission will. Listen to your passion and listen to their voices and see where you can make a difference. If you haven't found your people here today, they are here in our city. Feminist poet Rupi Kaur wrote, "The kindest words my father said to me was, 'Women like you drown oceans.' I look at Spokane and I see a city full of people who are strong, who are brave, who are daring, who are everlasting, who are immense and who are limitless, and who have the crushing force to drown the daily attacks on their rights from this administration. Not just with your voices, but with your actions. And may the next generation be more fierce than any ocean we can possibly imagine, so that we no longer have to march and we no longer have to say, 'Me too.' So I say to you today, stand up, show up, be active, get organized. Let's take it back, and next year we'll be celebrating an entirely different message. Thank you.
Okay. That was it for our incredible speakers. One more round for the speakers, right? But I can never just like end a party like that, right? So I need to have my dear friend Pamela come back up for us because, well, because we're worth it. So Pamela Benton once again, you guys. So thank you guys and gals for being here. Thank you. Oh, I have one quick housekeeping. Is there somebody here named Lori Rhine, R-H-E-I-N? Lori Rhine, are you here? Lori Rhine. Okay, well, you lost something really important, but it's okay. We got it for you. We'll hold you safe. Pamela Benton.
You ready? You good? I am.
The devil went down to Georgia. He was looking for a soul to steal. He was in a bind, he was way behind, was willing to make a deal. When he came across this young man sawing on the fiddle and playing a hot. And the devil jumped on the hickory stump and said, boy, let me tell you what, I guess you didn't know it, but I'm a fiddle player too. And if you care to take a dare, I'll make a bet with you. Now you play pretty good fiddle, boy, but give the devil his due. I bet a fiddle of gold against your soul, cause I think I'm better than you. The boy said, my name's Johnny, and it might be a sin. Well, I'll take your bet, you're gonna regret, cause I'm the best it's ever been. Johnny, rising up your bow and play the fiddle hard. This house produce in Georgia, and the devil deals cards. And if you win, you get to shine, fiddle made of gold. But if you lose, devil will get your soul. His case and he said, I'll start the show. And fire through from his fingertips as he rosin up his bow. And he pulled the bow across the strings and it made an evil hiss. A band of demons joined in and it sounded something like this. Devil finished, Johnny said, well, you're pretty good, old son. Well, sit down in that chair right there. Let me show you how it's done. He played fire and down and run, boys, run. Devil's in the house of the rising sun. Chicken in the red pen, picking out dough. Granny does it like by no child, no. Hey, Shannon. devil bowed his head because he knew that he'd been beat. And he laid that golden fiddle on the ground at Johnny's feet. And Johnny said, devil, just come on back. You ever want to try again? I done told you once, you son of a gun, I'm the best it's ever been. He played fire and down and it was fun. Devil's in the house of the rising sun. Chicken in the red pen, picking out dough. Granny doesn't look like no job.
All right, this wraps up the 2018 Spokane Women's Persistence March and Rally. Thank you for being here. Thank you for all of the participants. Thank you for the speakers and the musicians and the security guards and everybody, all the booths. This was possible because of all of us, so I am so blessed. Thank you very much. Let's get out there and do something about this. All right, have a great night. Everybody be safe. Power to the people.